expecting to lose about $120,000 in a year. So we would just appreciate anything to make up for that as much as possible. It's greatly appreciated, and we would use all the money you guys give us to its full benefit.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks so much for coming.
Thank you.
Senator Reeves, thank you for coming. Anyone else here for public forum? Yeah. Just in order. Wait, are you here for a BCU report or public forum?
I'm sorry. Is there it's public forum?
If you're here to report on your work as a member head of a BCU,
I'm
that would be-
I'm here to comment and policy too. So should I?
that could be now, yeah.
Okay, sure. I am Yo-Yo, and I am very much.
Wait. Would you mind did you hear the speaking agreement?
Sorry.
Did you hear the speaking agreement from earlier?
Yes.
Okay, and could you give us your full name, please?
Yes. I am the current chair of the Creative Media Unit, and I'm also a member of the Global Doctor Commission. I use your pronoun, and I want to make some comments on.
Sorry, just, we have to go through the process. Is 3 minutes enough?
Yes.
Okay, and if you could speak up a little, appreciate it.
Yes, I want to make a few comments on standing policy 22. I am a bit concerned about this because number one, the reason that a lot of BCUs have food at their meetings is because meeting times often are during dinner times for students, and oftentimes students are dedicating an hour or so to meetings, and after meetings, a lot of students, or before meetings, they might have other commitments. So it's important to us that we have our members, we take care of our members' health, and that's why we have food at our meetings. And I want to point out that this 3-hour limit would basically cut all food allowance for BCUs, and it would only allow usually for Senate to have food at their meetings, which to me, that feels like Senate overstepping your responsibility as legislators. And I don't understand why, if you're cutting food for BCUs, which we do have a valid reason that we are eating food for our meetings, why you're not cutting that for Senate. I understand that you have longer meetings, but if you know that you're going to have those longer meetings, you can also make time before those meetings to get your food as well. And I think that applies to BCUs. So I don't understand where there is a policy now that it's going to allow Senate to do something that BCUs are not being allowed to do. And I also want to just comment on, I think there is a misunderstanding of BCUs being maybe unfunctional, or that we're trying to take advantage of these funds, and that's not the case. And I hope that more senators would be able to actually come to our meetings and learn about what we do, and see that we are actually doing a lot of great work, and sometimes we really do need the food to support our health. Yes.
We take any questions?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hi, Yo-Yo. Thank you for coming in. Completely understand your concerns. My question is, are you aware in the association that there are BCUs which have spent 73%? We're going to talk about this tonight. 73% of their budget this year went to food, meaning it went back internally instead of back to the students, which is what this association is supposed to do. And additionally, are you also aware that this bill is just essentially bringing associated students to the UCOP policies, the University of California Office of the President? So what we're doing is essentially just putting us in alignment with what procedures UCOP follows.
I'm not aware of the second point. So my comment to that would be, yes, some BCUs I know are maybe abusing that power of having a budget. And I think it should be up to the legislative body to be able to regulate their activities. And I think you do have the ability to do that, because if we are submitting requisitions, all that goes through Senate and Finance Committee. So if you're approving that, then I think that is also an issue within Senate. And I would say that I understand that we might not be able to, I I understand that we want the funds to go back to students instead of sending it internally. But I don't understand why we're having a 3 hour, it's like meetings longer than 3 hours are allowed to have food. I think that is very targeted towards Senate meetings. In my understanding, that's very targeted towards Senate meetings. And I just want to say that I think if you're going to cut food with BCUs, then it's also fair to cut food with Senate.
Would you say like simply out of good faith that if the Senate also voluntarily just participate in this whole cutback in budget on food, that would be like, even if it's not complied with the policy or it was not like, enforced by a larger body of authority, but it shows good faith of a collective contribution to the budget situation that we're facing right now as a students, right?
Yeah, I believe that if the Senate also shows, that you really want to help with the budget situation by cutting back on your food, I think that would make sense to me, but I think it's kind of ironic that you are sitting here with the food and you're trying to cut that for BCUs.
Okay. I'm gonna try to keep this whole thing brief and disciplined, but I must note, since this is bordering on the thing of senators' intentions, that and if the legislators could, the authors of this could help me out. Are BCUs mentioned once that it's not BCUs, but the Senate, it is just a temporal thing, right?
Mhm.
So theoretically, if X BCU had a meeting of 3 hours, they would get the food, and if the Senate had in a utopia had a meeting that lasted 2 hours, they would not get, is that correct?
Yeah, so when writing this, our members, like, Community Affairs Board, for example, they have multi-hour meetings. That aligns with UCOP policy. Let's say the Senate was awesome and didn't have an 8 hour meeting, right? I would be so happy. But that's not reality, unfortunately. And, I think the distinction is we wrote it not to target BCUs. That was never the intention whatsoever. That's been all of my legislation this year. I don't want to hurt BCUs. It's more to bring in policy and procedures that we must follow as an association, which we haven't for decades now. And that's all it's doing is bringing us to UCOP policy and already following the allotment of financial allocations that are already in our budget processes. So the $30 is already within our financial policies and procedures. It's not targeting BCUs. It's a universal rule, as Andrew said.
On the BCU and what it's coming off at is that you're limiting the activities of BCUs. And also this, I'm in 2 BCUs and none of us were told about this or contacted about this by anybody in Senate. So to us, we're in the dark and all we know is that this would really limit, we were able to do a meeting, but it probably wouldn't Senate activity.
What do you want?
Okay, I think Grace in her assessment, I explained it pretty well. I was gonna add the additional question because I don't know if you guys saw some of the particular clauses, and again, it's not, as someone, I apologize too, by the way, if this wasn't communicated enough. We tried since this was brought to the Lazy Committee, that we tried to kind of exemplify this to any other BCUs that had additional feedback, but it's just, not trying to take away from particular BCUs. There's actually some clause in here to explain what you mentioned about in the beginning, that we don't want to take away from your guys' time because you guys are students. And obviously, you guys are going to be eating during some common time that could be your dinner, could be your lunch or breakfast. But there's some particular clauses I mentioned about that the time that we typically do have these policies are also similar towards the policies that conduct in like regular, as Senator Sussman mentioned about UCOP policies, but also Denmark policies at like certain particular intervals, and if it's beyond 3 hours, then you guys are allowed to eat food. So, do you think that some of the stuff that was detailed in the particular legislation you think is not still sound enough, yes, that you might not think it's like not to take away from BCUs, it's following similar things that even dining hall policies have conducted, with sometimes they close, sometimes they open, and things like that. But it's just more of like kind of the regulations about things it doesn't take away. Not to take away at all from JDC. I just want to also ask if maybe there's some things you'd like to expand maybe on the time in particular, but just I think Sarah Sussman already explained beyond 3 hours. So do you think there's any specifics you think that you think is preferable as a BC perspective on times?
I think what I'm reading here is that there's a specific line about entities which hold regular government meetings may not hold with expectations. And most BC meetings are targeted towards a 1 hour time frame. So that to me felt like it was specifically pointing out that BC shouldn't have to be put at their meetings and without an explanation to us. So I think we're really missing that communication. And also it's not very explicitly written out that this is not supposed to be targeting VCU. Okay.
It seems like getting a bit of in a circle of repetition, it seems like that Canada centers would be able to integrate that if they. But thanks so much, yeah, appreciate it. Still in public forum,
Since we're here to like give a statement about our budget allocation for raises, will we just do that now instead of like later?
you can,
Okay. We can do that now.
Right.
It's okay. Yeah.
did you guys hear the speaking agreement from earlier?
We did, yeah. We did.
Is 3 minutes enough?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Right, just make it- Sorry. Yeah, that's it. That's with that is all. Yeah, that's right.
There's a lot of us.
Okay. Hi guys, my name's Lonnie Sanchez. I'm Tony. External chair. Yeah, I'm the internal chair, sorry, I forgot to say that. Go by Shepherd and we're here tonight to talk about our budget that, you guys have like allocated us for next year. As Raíces de mi Tierra, which is for the CSP. So do you guys have to do the agreement or are we good to just say? Yeah.
Yeah, I think the time is still already going. Still?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, so we can.
Okay, so Senator Sussman reached out, earlier this week, and we thank you so much for that. We just wanted to clear up something. Senator Sussman had emailed and said that we have spent $6,739 this year, which is true out of our operating budget, but that doesn't account for the $15,300 that we spend a year in honoraria. And any additional like projects and things that we have gone and requested for. So we requested from Finance and Board Committee for our DOS conference. And that was a total of $6,445 as well. We're gonna have to request from program board and from, we're planning to go back to finance next week, because we're trying to about confirmation for our Campbell Hall for our showcase, which is one of our major yearly events. And then this weekend we are working with IDPRD and we are also funding $100 worth of food for that. Hopefully next year we're able to have a larger budget to host more things at our event, but they are taking on most of the cost, and for that we're very grateful. In addition to that, we also have our Sabores de mi Tierra night market event, which we are expanding this year to include other cultural organizations on campus. And that is looking to be about $5,000, and we're also gonna go for that, as well as, and if they can't give us the amount, then we'll go to finance board as well. So that would bring our total operating to $42,745 this year. And we just wanted to make that clear because, like Senator Sussman had emailed, we have only spent $6,739, and that was from, a journal entry that we had to do out of our own honoraria this year.
Yeah, we just essentially want to make it clear that we do have a large operating budget. It's just because of the allocation in the beginning of this year that it wasn't really like necessarily reflected because we have to keep going and requesting. And we have the little bit saved, you know, it's $8,100 was the journal entry. That amount that was spent was just out of like what we need for necessities such as storage and kind of what we mentioned in the very preliminary hearings. And that all of that money is definitely going to be spent because we're going to be using the rest of that to kind of help not request the total amount from finance. I mean, we're gonna try to at least spend all of that on top of all the requesting.
Yeah, for our supporters that need to know then, yes. Also, we'd like to say that we have expanded our mission statement, to include undocumented.
You can finish.
Okay, thank
To
you.
include, undocumented immigrant communities and undocumented students at UCSB. We also did an emergency vote earlier today to make that official and, submit that into legal code. And sorry, we plan on expanding and doing a lot more events to host intercultural communication this year. and help support undocumented students in their rights.
Okay, thank you guys. When is the showcase?
Showcase right now is planned to be June fifth. Had a little bit of trouble with booking, but June fifth, so please guys come out, it should be completely free.
I've been twice, it's always phenomenal. I think John was first.
I want to say deeply appreciate you guys being very cooperative with the extension of Michigan and everything. It's deeply appreciated. And also just a really simple question. Can you repeat the number that you have on the end of the like 42,000?
It's 42,745. That also includes the $15,300 in honoraria.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So it's everything that's accounted for. It just doesn't account for some of the expansion that we wanted to do. It's just what was currently reflected in our.
And that's why we
Right, this year.
requested originally 58,000, I believe. And we are very grateful for Leanne's recommendation of 54,000. 53,000, sorry.
Jones?
Hi guys, thanks for coming in. Just a quick question. So regarding your new mission statement, how will your events and like work look differently next year with that new addition method?
Yeah, so essentially how that's going to work is we're gonna put kind of priority on intercultural collaborations. While still maintaining what we've done, just for, our Hispanic community. So we're just gonna be putting more priority to intercultural. They're thinking of introducing some new events. Saboris is our main expansion event with the inclusion. It used to just be solely the Latinx. That's where it was founded. But now we're expanding it to include all intercultural. We want to expand it to give them a platform to perform as well. So I believe we have the lion dancers that are willing to do it. So please guys come out to that event as well. But yeah, so we're just going to be putting priority to the intercultural collaborations. In regards to the new mission statement for undocumented, we have our advocacy chair. They're going to be doing more in regards to providing legal resources, and we were there's intent to have them work with the legal resource audit this year. I believe it's years.
And then also I don't know if this is but posting more information online about what rights students have, because that was a question that we did have within our org. And we weren't even sure because of what has happened in the past and other organizations within AS getting sued. We didn't want that to happen to ourselves or any of our students, because this is our first year as BCU, and it's something that we are planning to expand on, work on, and improve next year. Thank you.
That's been harder and hopefully we can do that.
Thank you guys for coming in. Sorry I didn't follow up to your follow-up email.
Yeah.
So just going off the mission statement, thank you. I'm very thrilled that this is finally coming to the association and will be within our legal code. I just want to ask, have you spoken to President Metzger or the Office of the Student Advocate General about potentially adopting the Know Your Rights or Protect Your Peers Week going into next year?
I spoke to the president very briefly. We kind of cross each other sometimes during classes.
Yeah.
But I just spoke to her briefly kind of about introducing that stuff, but we never got down to hardcore details, because at the time I believe we were talking about the food bank. And we were trying to see if we can donate anything, and it just wasn't viable for the fact that at the time we were focusing on if we were gonna be able to pay storage. So
Yeah,
it was kind of like that, but we never got down to some foundation.
but definitely adding Know Your Rights weeks and adding more informational things through the Legal Resource Center is something that we want to do for next year.
Yeah, we're more than interested in it.
Thank you.
Could I briefly ask Sean or Michael whether would know whether there's been any change in the storage policy for entities of the association, or you cannot use funds for storage?
Capacity, so there's an issue with capacity.
Right, but you cannot expend AS funds to secure storage off campus, right?
If it's through AS, our direct contracts, we can take on more space. We can't fund outside RCOs.
Sure. But entities can.
Within our own contractual purposes, we can expand our storage.
Harder, last question?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you guys so much for coming. It's good to see you both once again. I haven't had an opportunity to read the legislation. I think Senator Wahidullah sent it out just a couple hours before the meeting. So that's on me for sure. Basically, from what I'm gathering, it sounds like, and I'm looking for clarification. From what I'm gathering, it looks like the VCU is kind of evolving in a way, shifting towards becoming more of a resource for Latinx community, the undocumented community, like you mentioned. kind of, I mean, obviously, you know, like the dancing is like, is of course the focus as well, but you guys are trying, from what I gather, you guys are trying to expand and become, evolve into like, almost like a resource for, in a way, right?
Yeah, especially since like, we feel like dance is so representative and people will always come up to us and say, hey, do you know something I can do about this? And it's always us outsourcing to other organizations or like saying, oh, we know these people from this place, but not being able to like provide the resources for them. That's something that we want to expand and be able to do, especially for like other cultural communities on campus as well. Like, as much as we focus on the Latina, Hispanic communities here on campus, we would like to eventually like expand and become a bigger resource for everyone. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. Is it possible to keep that door open for a little fresh air or is there like a lot of noise?
You can't hear down here because it's loud.
Pardon?
We can't hear down here because it's really loud outside.
We can do the AC with the AC.
Well,
AC's first.
Yeah. Can we all shout for the next 30 minutes so we can like?
Yeah.
Until evening sets in?
I think we should put it-
Can you open it? No,
I'm thinking, so BWC, you guys want to speak during VCU reports, is that correct?
There's someone else.
There's a hand.
I can't see.
There's a hand.
This is a weird setup.
well, just go to the middle. Like, you should be in the middle of the table.
So BWC, you guys are okay, you're going in VCU reports or would you have to go in public one? Okay, go ahead. Your hand was up? Okay, would you like to speak? You can speak. What was your name? One more time, please.
CELESTE. Yes.
Cortez, you said?
Yeah, Cortez,
Cortez.
CORTEZ.
Did you get a speaking agreement from earlier? Okay, is 3 minutes enough? Feel free.
So I'm just here as a general member alongside Raices. I'm just here to continue to kind of explain the circumstance behind like, the budget. I know the photos already. Kind of gave some clarification as to why we only use the, what was it?
8,000.
Yeah, that limited amount. So I'm sure everybody knows that this is our first year with BCU, and so both general members and I guess the leaders kind of struggle to understand and familiarize ourselves with AS policy and procedures. And so part of that reason was because, like we mentioned, that we thought we would get kind of backlash and restricted and like seeing out politically and like students, undocumented students. And so we kind of just wanted to reiterate that general members did try this whole year to kind of work with the co-chairs and like change our like mission statement and like do things better. And we did bring those concerns to the chairs, but because of their restriction and lack of knowledge of how to operate as a first for the ECU, they felt restricted in doing so. So this was a work in progress this whole year, but it's finally come to light now, and I'm glad that it is. And I'm glad we kind of are working on that now. So I guess we just want to like reiterate the emphasis that I know there was like a common belief that we kind of just dancing and not really doing more, but the general members and board members did want to do more this entire year. And so while we do kind of focus on dancing, it's just a lot more than that, and we hope, you know, to, like you all mentioned, provide like different workshops and different resources and legal resources for like in the community here. And so even though there was some mistakes and, you know, lack of accountability on part of our external church to kind of inform themselves about how to maneuver, we as general members do want to emphasize that that you guys consider our budget and that so we can continue to progress and grow as an organization.
Sure. Thank you so much for coming in. Before I get to my question, I just wanted to say that it's kind of amazing that you guys have only been around for 1 year and you're already evolving and you're aware of the misconceptions and that you're evolving and that you're coming to the Senate meetings and that you're speaking to us and becoming an active member of the discourse. So I wanted to say thank you very much for doing that. It means so much. And as far as my question goes, I'm wondering if you guys have an advisor currently? What the relationship with the advisor is like? I mean, the staff advisor, of course. And, yeah, do you guys have an advisor, what the relationship is like? And I suppose, can that relationship be improved?
I definitely think it can be because, you know, as a general member. And I was on the board last year when we were in the council with ECU. Honestly, I felt like there was kind of lack of transparency about who that was and who to go to. Which is why I kind of mentioned that, you know, I understand it was our first year and there was some trouble, but I think it could be improved of like making the information more accessible to our general members.
And you do have an advisor, do you know who the advisor is or not?
Yes, we do have an advisor. It's Jennifer Kaiser. She's most of the time, she's very busy, so we go to her for certain things, but in regards to her coming to our meetings or anything like that, that's not something that is present.
Point of information. Can I ask a question to our executive director on the reorganization funds?
It's relevant to this section.
Well,
I think it's something you want to have communicated in front of people.
well, I guess not.
And one, briefly.
Yeah, it's kind of just information because we also, there hasn't been an internal reorganization plan that nobody actually knows. They're like, who the advisor are for, even I think for us, I don't even know who the Senate committee advisors are. So, yeah, it's like. Okay, see, I just know that our advisor is so much, but yeah. So,
So, yeah.
yeah, I understand,
Was there a question?
I understand the point.
Okay. Is there any more questions? No? Okay, thank you so much. Fill in the big public. None? You're gone?
We're always wanting us to someone else.
There's no one else?
There's someone else.
Excuse me, do you mind just coming this way and speaking to the chair right there?
Yeah, I have a comment that I wanna make. I wanna make a statement, but I wanna make sure for the organization speak up, because I'm not part of the any club or anything.
You can speak. I don't think there's anyone in front of you. Could I hear your full name, please?
Yeah, full name, Ekaterina Vositova.
One more time, please.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Your last name one more time, please.
Osipova, Vosipova.
Ekaterina with an E or an I?
Katerina.
Did you hear the speaking agreement from earlier?
No, I did not sign the agreement. Like I did not get a chance to fill out the form.
No, it's verbal. Do you hear it earlier?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
do you agree?
Yes.
Cool, is 3 minutes enough?
No, can I add 5 minutes?
Up to the Senate, harder.
Yeah, I'm motion to extend the speaker's time by 5 minutes.
There's been a motion to extend the speaker's time by 5 minutes. Is there a second? Wait,
Second.
Is there a second? We're now in discussion. Sussman,
Call a question.
question, call, call a question.
Time.
Any objection, like consent? Okay, feel free.
Okay, so as a UCSB student and as a person who, you know, is part of student life at UCSB, I come here as, you know, with general questions about the operations of this assembly as a whole and the validity of this assembly. I have some questions as a student. I feel like I have a right to ask these questions. First of all, I went on you guys' website and I don't see any meetings at all. No meeting minutes available since 2022. I don't know if you guys know the purpose of meeting minutes, but as a UCSB student, I have a right to read everything that you guys discuss. You guys claim you want to be transparent. You guys have not been doing your job. What have you guys learned from last week's meeting? I have some written notes. As a person who just attended the meeting, do you guys have some written notes? I have no idea because the meeting minutes are not posted. So what have you guys learned as our lovely assembly here? I have no idea. Next, we know the budget is 2 million for the AS or something like that.
I would like to see a PDF or the spreadsheet posted on the AS website that talks about the exact budget distribution to each organization and very clearly identifies all money allocated to student life and where the money is going this year, as well as for the last several years to compare the budget. Every decision on the budget modification should be listed. Every budget for the organization should be included in a very clear reason why this specific amount. I want to know every single organization, what budget they claimed, what budget have they requested, what have they been provided, if it was increased, why, if it was decreased, why. Very simple. If you guys are doing your job, you should be able to provide this. I would like to see every single budget request letter from the organizations covered by the AS, and I want to know if the budget was covered exactly above the requested or below. I want to see all the email logs of our incredible and hardworking AS, of them trying so desperately to reach out to every single organization. I want to see the dates of when the emails were sent and which kind of emails were sent. Our dear AS is very good at trying to defend itself from scrutiny from the community it serves. When your own community asks to reassess the budget, it means that the budget was not distributed correctly. Everyone must come to an agreement, must be heard. But tell me why, if AS claims beating their chest that there have been meetings, they reached out, why nobody knows who you guys are? None of you do enough outreach work. None of you talk to the community enough. So who do you guys represent? Let's look at the vote turnaround for last year. It's been decreasing every single year, and this year it has been 20%. Let's think logically about what that means. It means that for people on this website that I found for AS 2025-26, let's list them. Liar Metzger, I apologize for my accent if I not pronounce you guys' name correctly. Enrilala, Ajira, Leah Kada, Sydney Bavens. You guys, less than 20% of people voted for you. So who do you represent? Also, we all know how UCSB voting works. Some people who go to this election or whatever don't even have an agenda. You just put your face in there and hope somebody votes for your pretty face or something. Like, none of you, now let's think about, you post your picture, you put your name next to it, and you hope people vote based on how much they like your face. None of you have an ounce of substance, especially those who, during the meeting last week, made racist comments, dared to speak condemningly to the people who came to ask for what is theirs, or simply stared into the walls of the room acting so confused. Like, why is that so many people show up and so many people don't like us? You did not even try to police your coworkers' behaviors. Absolutely zero lack of responsibility. So what's the lesson for everyone from what we learned last week? And what's the lesson for the rest of the community of UCSB students? All of you have failed to serve your community. We will not stop speaking out about this. We will reach out to higher management and we will make sure none of you ever remotely closely acting like you will ever get this position. If you still want some of our respect as the community you claim to serve, you better get a lot of work or resign. Quit your job, please, as soon as you can. Thank you.
Okay, quite a few things there. I'll just take a few sort of technical notes. Neither EJ nor Leah nor Leanne nor Sydney are here. This is the Senate. Those are executives. I'm the only of the woeful execs listed there by virtue of being Senate Vice President. On the minutes, I've also written it down if you'd like to access it, because my staff and I developed this website. That's why I'm familiar with it. It's as.ucsb.edu/Senate. And if I could pass this to you, you can
Yes, please.
access it. From there, very helpful. You access the website. It says D76 UCSB Senate. It's a photo of us, Sacramento, whatever. There's a drop down documents, and under documents, you can view it's our terms meeting agendas. It's until April 8th because it takes a little time to process minutes. So you can find the agendas and the minutes on the left and right column respectively. And then you can find bills and resolutions. That's for the 75th Senate, and then some past agendas from past terms, and even some training documents. there's a leadership tab, there's a senators tab, so some of that information is out there.
Okay, so is the meeting minutes posted for the last week's meeting?
I will speak to the head administrator about that right now, actually. It should be, right. I'll get it on there ASAP. Pardon?
Recording.
Yeah, also there's of course recordings
Yeah,
that
but the
are,
meeting minutes are not posted. You guys know what they're for.
sorry, if we could just have the floor on the time, please. Yeah, no, you're completely right. Meeting minutes is the most accessible route, but it is also on the HCSB Associated Students YouTube and Facebook or
YouTube
has
for
all.
sure, yeah.
Okay, great. I'll be waiting for the meeting minutes to be posted
Yeah,
as soon as you guys can.
yeah. If you want to give me a contact, I can also forward it to you personally if you like the moment they're ready.
No, I'll be checking the website.
Right. Senators, any questions? He's John.
Thank you for coming up here. A lot of the things you said are very valid concerns coming from the students. One thing I want to ask you is, are you aware of, I assume you did your research, the AS walk-in fee for every student?
No, I'm not aware. I'm not part of the organizations.
Um,
I don't think that is relevant on what I said. I don't think that's relevant towards what I said.
Harris.
Yeah, phrase.
So a lock-in fee is something every single student in the school, not in AS. Well, including those in AS, but it's every single student pays towards AS.
Okay, well, then I've needed another student.
Yes, of course. So that current amount is around $250. And the reason why I want to bring this up is because this current Senate is really taken into consideration, and we're trying to represent the entire student body. And we have currently a lot of complaints about where that $250 kind of goes into. And that's kind of accounting into our budget this year. AS is really struggling because we don't have a lot of staff, and staff is trying to hire more people. And the only way that we can continue without collapsing in entirety is if we figure out a way to budget over 80 different accounts within AS without trying to increase the amount from every single student to pay, because we feel like every single student is bearing a huge burden right now. And that kind of is taken into place. We're trying our best to increase transparency. And our current websites that show up on the top, such as the one that you may have accessed, which is the first one that shows when you Google search AS, is the one that doesn't have the minutes updated accurately. It's actually the 10th one on Safari that actually shows the correct agendas and minutes. So I feel like we can definitely try better to take down the ones that are showing up first, because those ones have all the old stuff and not the new stuff, if that helps, and be a little bit more transparent with our budget. But I do want to clarify that it's not that we're I don't want to defend, but it's really not that we're lazy or not really communicating. It's just everyone has a role right now, and we're trying to all do our part to kind of get this up together and fix ourselves.
Okay, can I respond to that?
Yep. As much as possible, Senators, if we can keep questions disciplined, keep them questions, please. Yeah.
Yeah, this does not seem like a question, but I'm willing to respond to that. I want to respond to that. Your guys' job is really difficult. If you guys can't do your job, you should resign. There's multiple people I'm looking at, especially those who made racist comments last time, should exit and never come here again. It's a hard job, yes, but you guys don't have to be here. If you don't want to do your job and if you don't want to serve the community, you're welcome to leave. Thank you. And number two, yes, it is, yeah, again, I can tell that some of you guys are working hard. I mean, I assess your guys' hard workedness, not based on your faces, not based on what you guys tell me right now, but based on quantifiable data, right? The meeting minutes, the budget PDF. You guys love to explain to us, oh, well, we changed this budget because of blah, blah, blah. Oh, we changed the budget because of blah, blah, blah. How about you guys write it down? Put it in a spreadsheet, publish it so that everybody can access every single explanation. If you guys have some concerns about the budget, or you guys are editing the budget in a certain way, how about you actually publish that instead of telling this to me right now? What am I gonna go outside and speak to everybody on the street right now? You guys, it's your job to do that. I'm just part of the, large student population at UCSB, I should have all of this available.
Yeah, I'm glad you bring that up. So I want to check this with the finance team. Budget.as.ucsb.edu has all the previous year's budgets, correct? Plus the one that is listed as 2025-2026 is the
In
President's
progress,
version or the-
published, but
Okay.
at every step.
Yes, and I
Okay.
can know the comments, every modification to the budget, I wanna know exactly the justification for why that's done. Because last week, we spent a whole meeting trying to figure out why budget boards got 70% cut. Nobody knows why, I wanna know why.
Yeah.
I think I have a right to know why.
That's more than legitimate. Did you get the address? I can also write that down for them. Yeah, it's budget.as.
Can you guys write it down, please?
.ucsb.edu. Sussman. And let's, Sussman Harder does it.
Yes. Thank you for coming in. This is the perfect example of what democracy is supposed to look like. So thank you for being here. Question, the president this year did something phenomenal and gave a breakdown as to why certain entities got the budget that they're doing. We're trying to emulate that tonight, so we're going to give a rationale section as to why we're giving DCs the budget and entities the budget that they're doing. Is that something that would be helpful as an outside student? Because I think something that was lost in the earlier stages was not having a rationale and just seeing numbers. So is that something that would be helpful for students like you, students like someone who would be like me, that's on AS next year?
Yeah, I mean, I would like transparency. And I also, would like reasonability, transparency is not enough if it's unreasonable. If you guys cut one org by 70%, that's transparent. Thank you guys for letting us know, but that is not reasonable. So you guys better, modify the budget so that doesn't happen. So that whatever the hell you did, you better change that. And, yeah, not only reasons are important, but also the reasonability is important. And, as an UCSB student, I feel like I have a right to have a board that represents me that is reasonable.
Harder, last one.
Thanks, Sharon. Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you for coming in today. I'm wondering what year you are. Did you vote in the election? Did you read the supplements that was included in the election? And how do you consider voting?
I did not vote for students because none of the students who tried to elect, I feel like represented me. And most of the people who I know actually, either did not vote because they did not feel like the students represented them, or they voted for just a random person.
So
That's my experience with UCSB elections for this, for AS.
what year are you planning on running? And did you read the supplements in the election?
That's none of your business.
Okay, well, thank you. Okay, anything else public forum? No? Oh, right. You say your full name, please?
Yeah, my name is Noah Lucan.
Could I, because there was some clarification on this, can you state what it is you're speaking on?
Yeah, I'm speaking, on behalf of the undergraduate law journal at UCSB. My role is editor in chief. I'm the leader as an RCO on campus.
Cool. I cannot stop you from doing this, but it is my understanding, and that after conversation of several others, that being that you have a role as a senator, speaking on this can carry several penalties, can invalidate the financial motion made out of this. You might even be liable for paying the fees and not being reimbursed by the association for any funding that is approved through this process. You can speak on it if you want. I'm doing my due diligence, letting you know that might bring against.
Yes,
You understand? It's very, it is. Okay. Did you get a speaking agreement earlier?
yes,
You agree?
yes,
2 minutes enough?
yes.
Feel free.
My name is Noah Lucan. I'm co-editor in chief of the undergraduate law journal at UCSB. I am not speaking today in my capacity as a senator. And if a motion is made later, I will not participate in any deliberation on this topic after I'm done speaking at public forum. I'm here to request $2,505 for the publication of our journal for the year and logistical costs. The undergraduate law journal at UCSB promotes legal scholarship at the undergraduate level for all students, regardless of career aspirations. This year, we expanded our journal to include work from a global community of professional writers on top of our undergraduate students, expanding the journal's reach and promoting UCSB and its students to a larger community of readers. This year, we are publishing our 5th volume. That being said, this is only the 5th time we have requested funding from associated students. The other 4 have been approved during the past 4 years, so only once a year. Without this funding, we will be unable to share our work with our writers and editors who have worked so diligently this year, as well as the community at large. That is all, and I have the budget breakdown, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Why is this,
Speak, guys, please, speak to the farthest center of the room, please.
why is this not presented during finance committee unless it being presented?
Yes, that's a great question. So we finalized the page count of our publication on Monday night, like literally 2 days ago at 10:30 p.m. And the page count heavily affects the cost of publishing. So it's $29.50 per book for 75 books. And if it was a lower page count, that would have been lower. If it was more, it would have been more. And if we wait until next Monday at Finance Committee, the books will arrive or are expected to arrive during finals week, where some graduating seniors and students would be unable to pick up their copy before leaving. So if at all possible, we would have gone to Finance Committee, but it was logistically impossible.
I think it was, oh no, John.
I was just gonna ask why it was contingent on being this week, but yeah, you answered that.
John,
Oh, I was checking the book before you guys sent it, but have you paid any of the expenses already? Cause I saw some of them said receipt.
We have not.
Okay.
okay, any other questions? AG, will you give a report later so we can,
And I have no comment right now.
okay, well, I kind of have to ask you for one, because the senator might ask. When he metamorphosizes back into a senator, might ask for a motion on this. And it's my understanding. Quote, such members holding conflicts of interest must almost participating in any discussion pertaining to the matter in which they hold a conflict, apart from the disclosure of their conflict of interest. This includes explanation of technical or logistical details, advocacy for the importance of the matter at hand, and background information and any other information which may inform the outcome of the decision. So I have to ask you as chair, I don't think I can accept that as a motion because it seems to be against the legal code of the association. That's why I'm asking for your guidance.
Anything will happen retroactively. I will not comment on procedures tonight in this movement. So a senator, I did not know that for some reason would like to make this motion without Noah's expressed interest as a senator.
Yeah.
So be it, and we'll deal with it retroactively.
I'm letting you guys know, there's a process for if an entity disagrees with the chair. This is my reading of it after conversation with several people. This is very clearly in contravenes, section C.
Chair, I spoke to the judicial council to clarify this before the meeting because I was concerned about this very thing. And they clarified for me that it was absolutely okay.
If that can be in writing, then it's actionable.
Sure.
There you go.
May I make a comment?
Pardon?
May I make a comment?
I can miss a question.
Okay, would you be accepting a possible middle ground that we approve from the finance committee through, rather than going to the Senate?
Yeah, that was another point that I actually didn't make, but I was going to, is like, it doesn't matter to us at all where the funding comes from. We just want to fulfill our mission. And so if that comes from finance committee, Senate, wherever, it does not matter to us.
May I follow up?
No, Senator Young, this isn't really about a specific case or about whether it's on email or by pigeon. It's about setting a precedent about whether senators can bring up funding motions of RCOs that they're a part of outside of the association. So I don't understand the
Yeah,
language.
that's not what my discussion was about. She was asking about my discussion in public, forum.
Any other questions? Please.
This is a question also Grace back, like in regarding this policy, that the IEP just mentioned. I can phrase it in 2 ways. Is there any way you could have gotten someone else to represent this RCO instead of you making the comment on the Senate floor when you're a senator?
And two, is that possible? Like, would that would have been legally possible, like?
Yeah, to answer your question, Senator Montes, I'm not speaking on the floor as a senator right now. I'm speaking at public forum as a leader of an RCO. And secondly, I asked everyone else in my exec board to see if they could make it today, and no one was able to make it, except for Ryan here, who is on the clock working another job, which I thought was inappropriate.
So
So request him to come do that.
I've said at past meetings, my role is not to interpret legal code. I could be, it's strictly in the meeting itself, and it can be overturned by the Senate. But my understanding is that someone who is a senator is the same, United States national, the same name, cannot both ask for the thing or bring it up or discuss in any way, and then that motion be considered. My understanding is that that has to be proposed by someone else. If it's a flux request that's below the limit, it has to be submitted by someone else. Hence, if this holds, this motion can't be considered at all. It has to be submitted by somebody else. Of course, that will be decided upon by the relevant institutions.
Sure.
Oh, no.
Can this kindly be resolved on a PPP, possibly, so then we can listen to the people who are here to speak on their budgets? Is that amenable to you?
Yeah, we could do that, or I could rescind my entire public comment and just ask someone else from our RCO to make the exact same request.
Okay, but I mean, it seems like there's a resolution, so
Like, this is not an issue at all with the chair, like, respectfully, Chair, it's not an issue. It's been confirmed by multiple sources familiar with it as not an issue. And so I really don't understand what the problem is. Like,
yes.
This is a common thing. Sorry, I didn't answer.
You're good. It just seems like you have a solution that you can work on, and I would just encourage y'all to PPP and do that so we can listen to the other people who are here. Is that fine?
There's no problem. You guys can make whatever motions you want or not.
I'm
here
saying,
in public forum,
can you
not
talk
as
to,
a senator.
Jenny?
Stop speaking over each other, please. I think your point is understood. I think your offer makes a lot of sense. If you would like to ask for that to be stricken and someone else to speak up, there is no issue. It's not that senators can't be part of any other institution. It doesn't make any sense. Is that they themselves cannot, because of their capacity as a senator, cannot bring the motion forward.
Sure.
That's the only thing.
I understand. So I just want to be clear. So because of your interpretation of legal code, you want everyone here to listen to the same request from someone else in my RCO. I just want to be clear, that's what you're asking me.
Because of what legal code clearly states, and that can be overturned.
Got it.
I
Well,
believe
I'll have someone else.
I believe that this motion would be illegal and you would be liable for it. I would like to prevent that from happening.
I want to retract all my public comment that I just had from the record if possible.
If a senator can make that motion, that would be. So just one.
Motion to strike the speaker's comment from the record.
Jesus Christ, that might be a mistake.
Pardon?
That might be a mistake.
What?
You can't strike public forums in minutes.
Yeah.
For what basis?
Wait, what do you mean?
It's already in the record.
I'm pretty sure this happens. in-
So if anyone public forum comes and says something that's unfavorable to the Senate can strike that from the record.
I don't think this is illegal.
Discussion is only after a motion is made, right? We are now in discussion. So the
Yeah.
idea is that
Fair.
as long as a senator isn't saying, hey, I want you guys to pass this because I'm sitting on the deliberative body, he can't do that. So the new conflict of interest says you're not gonna do that. So now, as long as he asks for money in public forum, which is totally okay, because he's describing what he for. It's all.
I understand that. If you want to make a very brief thing, so whoever makes the motion can refer to this instead, and there's no issue, I'd welcome that. It could be as brief as you want.
You're in the middle of the motion.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'd let you speak in the moment. Just wanted to repeat your motion, please.
Motion to strike the speaker's comment from the record with this consent.
I'm sorry, considering this, do you want to, it seems like that's not necessary. Do you
It
want to,
doesn't seem necessary,
so would you like to rescind?
That's fine.
Brilliant. Okay, are you here for public forum? Can I hear your full name, please?
Ryan O'Donnell.
Ryan O'Donnell?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you hear the speaking agreement earlier?
Repeat that?
Did you hear the speaking agreement earlier?
I did not, unfortunately.
We have 3 minutes to speak with 3 minutes for Q&A. Please state your name, pronouns, enunciate, refrain from yelling, speculation, or sentences of intent is prohibited, may result in you being refrained, being removed from the ability to speak on the floor. Please know this meeting is being recorded. You may speak on any issue, whether it's on the agenda or not. Please include the contact order that will be graphic. You may only come up once and do not answer any question. You agree?
Yes.
Is 3 minutes enough?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Good. Vivian. Hi, my name is Ryan O'Donnell. I'm here on behalf of the UCSP Undergraduate Law Journal. We are a free law review style publication that aims to offer undergraduate students the opportunity to participate in a law review publication that gets published. This is our 5th year as for funding. We've been publishing for quite some time now. We have a staff of about over 30 students here on campus, and we publish legal articles. We are asking for funding to print our physical copies, which we return to students so they can then give out to local law professionals and people in their network so they can promote their legal research and their passion for this subject. We are here to request $2,505 for the publication of our journal for the year and logistical costs. As I mentioned before, we are an organization on campus that promotes legal scholarship at the undergraduate level for all students, regardless of career aspirations. This year, we expanded our journal to include work from a global community of professional writers on top of our undergraduate students, expanding the journal's reach and promoting UCSP and its students to a larger community of readers. This year, as I said, we're publishing our 5th volume. And as I said, this is the 5th year we're requesting funding. We have received full funding for the last 4 years. Without this funding, we're unable to share our work with our writers and editors who have been working throughout this entire year to make this publication happen. To preempt a couple questions, why didn't we go to Finance Committee? We just resolved our page count, which affects the cost of publishing. And if we waited until next Monday, the journals would not arrive until during finals week, which is when some of our senior editors and writers would have graduated, and then they would be unable to receive the journal. We are expanding a lot in terms of our outreach this year. We have connections with a lot of local law firms that we're sending out our legal publications to. We have a quarterly newsletter in addition to our annual publications. And we have a lot of lawyers on this mailing list. And we plan, in addition, to send some of these physical copies to a lot of the local law offices, so we can continue to expand on the reach and audience of our work and give more exposure for our writers and editors to make some legal connections, as I said, get exposure, ultimately potentially leading to jobs for them at local law offices. And ultimately, this is just a great professional development opportunity. And that's why we're here for funding today.
Thank you, Ryan. Are there any questions? Very brief, please.
So I know you guys are coming now because you guys just finalized like your page count, but why didn't you guys finalize your page count before?
That really would have been impossible to do just with our timeline. I mean, for the last few weeks, even though we finished, we had a hard deadline for our drafts. Our senior editors, managing editors have been working diligently to format everything in the proper format. It requires transferring everything from Google Docs to Word, ensuring the page counts line up properly, managing all the footnotes. And it's quite a tedious process. So we were just able to finalize the formal page count.
Anything else? Yeah, thank you, Ryan. I know it's no joke editing a journal that size, and congrats on publishing.
Yeah.
Are we done with public forum? Okay, do we have a chancellor's representative present? Speedy representative, GSA, Houston Governance Board, or IBCSD? Okay, let's go into ASUCSB reports. We have an administrative committee report. Boards and commissions reports. I believe the Black Women's Health Collaboratives here.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys like, I'll read the brief speaking agreement. So pursuant to Senate Standing Rules Section F+5, officers of the association providing reports must take questions from senators relevant to the matters of projects presented. Knowing that, do you still wish to give a report?
Sorry, I can't.
Okay, yeah, no worries. So it's pursuant to Senate Standing Rules Section F+5. Officers of the association providing reports must take questions from senators relevant to the matters of project presented. knowing that you still wish to give a report?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, if we can put our laptops down, it'd be phenomenal. And the noise level's fine, okay, so my foot, turn on it, please. Feel free.
Okay, also, I don't know if I'll go over the minutes, so can I just request? I'll introduce myself. My name is Matsumoto Kere. I'm one of the coaches of Black Men's Health Collaborative. I'm pretty sure all of you guys remember me from the last Senate meeting, which definitely was something. I'm hoping after that, you guys have had like a lot of time to think about the decision you want to make during your budget, your closed session budget hearing or meeting or whatever. I just wanted to make a few pointers. I'm not gonna restate my whole 4-page speech that I did last time, but I wanted to just highlight the important points so that you guys can remember before actually discussing our budget today. So I just want to prioritize what the issue has been overall with just the neglect that we have dealt with from AS, with the main thing being that we haven't had an advisor for 6 months and have had to navigate everything completely on our own and did the job of the advisor ourselves. And also the fact that it just feels like you guys have been trying to get rid of us. I don't know if that's true or not, but just with us being, putting us under score and like, us not having an advisor and just like, the additional budget recommendation was just really difficult to deal with. And I mentioned last meeting that our budget that we requested was $124,800. And I want to preface that is the goal that's the reason why we came here. We want that amount. It's not just the number that we threw out there. And the number that we are requesting, the 124, it doesn't even fully cover all of the requests that we're getting from other Black orgs and all of the events that we do in 1 year. And I wanted to also go over some of the points of my speech and like the issue that we faced first. Just for those of you who weren't there or if you forgot. But yeah, this year or like the past school year, we've been threatened with a lawsuit from a vendor who provided a service to our event because it took 6 months for AS to process our requisitions. And other vendors have sent out emails of frustrations to us in which we have had to pay them extra to compensate for the delay. I'll just repeat that because I'm not sure if you were there. I'm not sure if you were present the last meeting, so I'll repeat the issues. But we were threatened with a lawsuit from a vendor who provided us service to our event because it took 6 months for AS to process those requisitions. And other vendors have sent us emails of frustration because, and we had to pay them extra for the delay because it just took really long. And to this day, one of the vendors still hasn't been paid yet, and it's been about a year. We've had events fall through because members of admin completely ghosted us when we needed them. We've had instances where people told us that they didn't want to work with us anymore because of the same payment delay issues. And we've had to sacrifice some of our own events so that we can fulfill our mission of helping and financially funding the Black community. And I also wanted to mention like just our success points despite the overall neglect from AS. We've been able to support the Office of Black Student Development with their yearbook and fund the projects of 5 different students in completing their vision fellowship. We funded merch for the statewide African Black Coalition Conference. We had our fall arts and crafts event. We had a collaboration with the Multicultural Center to bring a speaker to campus. We had our good giveaway. We had our self-defense and Afro-Brazilian cultural dance workshop. We had our BWHC mixer. We had our Black Beauty Expo, our hair oil making event, our study jam, and our wellness wonderland, which is when we're giving away a bunch of free skincare products. And this total is about $45,000. And I also want to just highlight just a few of the requests that we received throughout the year that we haven't been able to help out with. The Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Founders Day celebration, the National Society of Black Indians Conference, the Nigerian Student Association Nigerian Student Coalition Conference, the Nigerian Student Association Taste of Africa Culture Show, and the Black Gaucho Family Weekend. In total, this is about $6,000 in requests. And like I said, this is just a few that I was able to find in the email before our Senate meeting last week. And it's a large amount, so students come to us to help us cover some of the costs, but these are all of the events that we could barely fund or just had to turn down because we simply didn't have the money. And I'll also list some of the events that we're planning to have this quarter, which you guys are all welcome to attend. Our spring bouquet giveaway, Roots and Rhythms, another Black Beauty Expo, our Black Queer Prom, Generational Brunch, and we have much more that we're planning. This is total to about $25,000, not including any additional funding requests for
the rest of the year. And in total, that's all about like $130,000. $130,000, yeah. So, and we're requesting 124. So. Yeah, we had our personal budget sheet, which I believe I sent to David, I don't know if he's in the room. But I sent it to a member of AS, which you guys should have access to. And it explains, because I know that there was a situation where you guys said that we didn't. I know there was like a claim that we have never submitted meeting minutes, like ever. I wanted to say that, let's say right now that claim is false, because you guys should all know that in order to like submit things like gateway orders, it's mandatory for us to submit our spreadsheet before microwave, our spreadsheet, the requisition sheet, the meeting minutes, and like of the mission statement. So we have submitted the meeting minutes to AS period, whether it was just one, whether it was a few. I just wanted to just clear up the claim that we have never submitted any meeting minutes ever, because that's not true. We have submitted meeting minutes to AS and I have emails with proof. And also, if you guys want to know more about what we do, which I have already explained multiple times, I'm happy to go through that again, but there's also the 51-page budget questionnaire that we all have to fill out. I believe fall quarter or winter quarter, and I put them, Vincent helped me fill that out, and it explains, it justifies every single dollar that we've requested in our budget, the 124. So you guys can, I sent that to one of the members of AS as well. I sent it to the president, so you guys can all take a look at that if you need to, and I'm happy to send it to you guys. But yeah, and I also just wanted to say that like after last meeting, there were, first of all, I appreciate, we did get a lot of support from most of you guys, but a lot of the solutions that you guys are proposing, like, they're unrealistic and don't actually solve the issue. There was like a proposition of that. I don't really know much about AS, like, or the financial that you do, but that the Black community could get like the specific amount, like hundreds of thousands of dollars allocated to the Black community, but we just wouldn't be a BCU anymore. And that is not something we're willing to do. Our founders already fought so hard 6 years ago, and I also want to remind you that the reason our organization started is because the passing of George Floyd, and it started 6 years ago, and they fought so hard to make us become an AS organization. So we would never, like, if it was $1 million, we would not sell out just to not be like, we already worked our way up here. We don't want to do that because it just like diminishes our whole mission. That's just an unrealistic situation for us. And also, there was an idea brought up of an MOU. I don't remember what it stands for, but it was like, I was told that we would basically not be a BCU for a year and get a bunch of money allocated towards us in the Black community and then come back and become a BCU, which to me or to all of us is just like, it's not like reasonable, like it doesn't make any sense, because next year there'll probably be a whole different board of senators, and you guys can tell us like, yeah, like, you know, next year we'll bring you guys back on board, you guys can get this money, and it could be a whole different group who's like, just no, like you guys, they don't want to let us back on. So it's just like, all of these like solutions that you guys are throwing out are just not realistic and not actually solving the issue. I just want to make it clear that the 124 that we requested is necessary. It's not just like, I didn't just throw that number out there. I sat in a meeting for an hour filling that budget questionnaire out with Vincent, and he helped break everything down, and I justified every single thing. I've justified it so many times, like a million times I've had this conversation in front of you guys. So I just want to make it clear that we're not just begging for more money every year. And I know in the past year, I believe we weren't given as much. This is the most that we have requested overall, but it's for a reason. The Black community on campus is actually expanding. We are having more events every single year. We are a creative group of people, and we have more ideas that we want to bring because representation is important on campus. So whether it's conferences, whether it's just like little events on campus, like these are things that are necessary to enhance the Black experience on campus, which we open to every single person, all of you guys. You don't have to be Black to come to indulge in any of our events. So I just want to highlight that, and just also sorry. Okay, yeah, I just also wanted to go over our mission is to support the holistic spiritual, mental, and physical health of Black women and women alliance people everywhere. And our job is to help educate, advocate, and financially provide for the overlooked communities. And we have done so by providing basic needs for anyone who needs it, which is like free food at every single event. We have tens of thousands of dollars allocated towards free hair products that we
we did it last quarter and we're gonna do again this quarter. We've given away free books by a bunch of Black authors, free skincare packages, and free album vinyls for students who want to learn more about Black culture. Like, we provide basic needs for every community on campus, so it's just like the 99,000 that the president recommended realistically is still not gonna be enough. Like, we are asking for the 124,000, and then we're hoping that you guys can just give us that number because we've justified it. It still isn't even enough to cover everything that we're requesting, and I honestly think that it's the least you guys can do, especially with us having to not do everything that I just listed on our own for the past 6 months. We have not had any support and it's been really difficult. So, and also it's been really stressful because our advisor that we were given only just reached out like 2 days before the Senate hearing. And the email was not, I did not think it was an appropriate email. She was very frustrated at the whole situation, which is understandable, but she was not holding herself accountable, and the emails that she sent us was just not like acceptable at all. It was very inappropriate, and it's been really stressful. So yeah, we're just hoping that you guys can understand where we're coming from and that and I can talk about it. Yeah, but we're just hoping that you guys can understand where we're coming from and just can. I know you guys have your reasons for cutting the budget, but there's just like there are a lot of organizations who are getting much more than we're getting, and we do a lot for this community. We do a lot, so I just wanted to say that, and also,
If you extend your time.
yeah, I was,
Yeah,
yeah.
just really quick, because it sounds like you're finding the wrong side, right?
I was honestly just about to wrap up.
If you want to wrap your thought, feel free.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it, and I also, just wanted to invite all of you to attend our events that we're having this May. This Friday, we have our spring bouquet event. We're gonna be making flower bouquets by the SRB in the North Lawn. We'll have free food. And we're also having our Roots and Ribbons event on May 19th. We'll be having like live jazz music, also free food, table talks. We'll be giving away free album vinyls and record players, like raffling them off and stuff. So you guys are welcome to come. And we also have spoken word. And I do encourage you guys to come just because I know there are a lot of you who don't know much about what we do and our mission and just overall what the Black community does. So I encourage you guys to come and learn about it so that you guys know all the stuff. I mean, you can look on our Instagram too, but it's important that you guys actually, as senators, as representatives of the students on campus, it's important that you guys actually take the time to indulge yourselves in the cultural communities on campus. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have. So if you guys have a question.
Not there. Oh, no. So it's been just one.
Thanks for coming back. Yeah, thank you for waiting like through all that. Really appreciate it. If you don't mind, could you send the budget that you want, or yeah, to his email and then he can circulate it.
Yeah, so I can send you the 51-page budget questionnaire.
Yeah.
I can also send you our personal budget sheet that we've been prepared here. She's been calculating all of our, it has a breakdown of everything. And based on that, we'll be finishing our full amount by the end of the quarter. So I can send that to you guys, right now or after you guys are finished asking your questions. Is there any more questions?
That's been just one already said.
Yeah, thank you for coming in. Wasn't able to speak to you guys last week because I was chairing a meeting. But I want to apologize on behalf of our side of the thing, that things seemed like they were intentionally hurting the Black community. That was never the choice from our end, right? And it seems like all of this was caught up in administrative failures at the end of the day. And I wanted to ask, so I went through all of your guys' meeting minutes once we got them last week. There was a couple things, just regarding like the fraternity life. Are those membership? I just want to know for.
Fraternity life?
Yeah, like Greek life.
Those events, I'm not really like super into Greek life and stuff like that, but those personal events are like, the one that I listed, it's like for them to go to like an some kind of like national conference or whatever. So that was what that was for. But yeah, I think those events, I can double check with those organizations. I'm not part of that organization, but I can double check with them. They normally have like their events where they're announcing new chapter like members and stuff like that, or just they have like little mixers and stuff, which like I'm pretty sure everyone is like welcome to. But yeah, but so I won't speak on behalf of them, but for our events, like everyone is welcome. We do not, I feel like a lot of people hesitate to come to Black events because they're not black, but you guys are all like welcome to come to our events. We don't like prevent anybody from showing up at our events. We also emphasize just so that.
And then I think one thing, just like kind of give some more conversation from my side at least, was I wasn't, aware of all that you did. We didn't receive meeting minutes on our side of the table from the Senate. And I think that's an administrative thing that just you guys didn't have. And again, sorry for that. It's above our pay grade. But having read through all of your meeting minutes, you guys do a lot. And I'm sorry that we weren't able to catch everything that you do for the Black community, because there was miles more that we didn't realize that you did. So that was gonna be the end of my question, but again, thank you for coming in and thank you for, being so willing to discuss with us, especially since I know what our reputation is as the Senate.
June 20th next.
Thank you for coming again, it means a lot. So it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like a big point of contention right now is that there's a lot of money going, from the OUHC to other Black groups.
Yes.
Which I think is great to be clear, I think that's a good thing. But I can understand why some people find that problematic, given the context of your mission statement, which is looking for a health collaborative. Would you be open to maybe us amending the legal code, for WHC so that we can take it broader?
Broader for to.
It's like in terms of like what, and what ethics you guys. So I don't know if you heard, earlier, there's a proposal to amend the legal code for, writing. To expand their, depending document of immigrants, and stuff like that. Would you be open to similar changes to your guys' mission statements so that you guys like this scope of what you guys do is broader?
Like.
So this, it does sound like you guys, it does sound like you guys do a lot, beyond like what the name Black Women's Health Collaborative.
Right, yeah, in our mission statement, have you seen our mission statement?
The
The full statement goes much more in depth than what I said here today, so I can also send that to you if you'd like to read it. We've had conversations about updating our mission statement in the past, that's just something that we haven't been able to get to because we really haven't had advisor for 6 months and we had a lot of stuff on our plate. It's something that we're open to, but yeah, I'm still kind of like, you're saying that you're hearing that other people are thinking about our mission statement, are you specifically thinking about our mission statement, like?
I think like.
Could you speak up a little bit, please?
Yeah, sorry. I could be wrong, I don't think I've ever read you guys.
Is it just the title, Black Women's Health Collaborative, that's?
I think the titling, I can see why the title would be a little bit.
Right, yeah, so
And to be clear, I completely support, you guys' work, it sounds like you guys do a lot, and I think that's great. But I could see, it was confusing for me, I could see it being confusing for a lot of other people.
Right, that's understandable. I'll happily send you a mission statement because it goes more in depth. It's really, really long, so I can like read it and like, if you have any more questions, I'm open to answer them and you can. I'll have a conversation about my board members about the suggestion of changing our mission statement, just because that's something we've already spoken about in the past. But yeah, I can also send you that if you wanna give me your email. Soon, or like, or.
Yeah, that'd be great, yeah.
Okay.
I'll just keep it that.
Okay.
So.
Cool.
So, no. I think my way there.
Hi, thanks for coming back. So my first question is, Instagram the best place to find your guys' upcoming events? And
Yes, that's the best place. We post all our updates for every event, not just our events, but like we also post events from from other areas of the Black community that you guys are welcome to. But yeah, Instagram would be the best place. I heard from, I don't remember if it was, I don't remember the boy who's sitting over there in his seat, but he told us about an AS newsletter, which we didn't know about. We're open to also expanding there so that more members of the community can know about our events, because Instagram isn't always the most efficient for everybody, but Instagram is the main place where we have all of our events. Our Instagram is ASVWH.
My second question was to make things abundantly clear for everyone here. what will be the total amount spent by the end of the quarter, in regards to your entire budget?
I would have to pop out our sheet for that, but I think right now we have about 7,000 left. Including, because we have our Black Beauty Expo coming up, we have the two of them to have, yeah, so I think we would have around like 7,000 left, and we are still collaborating with there's other orgs that we wanted to collaborate with for our events. We have our Black Queer Prom, which is around like, last year was over $5,000, and then like the rest of that, because we haven't been able to support the other Black communities, we'll probably give the rest of that to them, especially with the NSA Culture Show coming up. That alone is around like $22,000, so we feel really bad that we haven't been able to help them, so if anything, it's probably just, get that, but we'll for sure be out of money by the end of the quarter. And also I'm remembering that because of the whole like, the lawsuit thing with our previous event and the vendor who didn't get paid yet. I've reached out to representatives about that and before my quarry started and I never heard back. So at this point, I really don't know what to do because there's still one person waiting to get paid. If that's the case, the leftover money would probably have to go to them because it still hadn't got access. So,
Thank you.
yes.
Thank you so much for coming today. I just wanted to ask, how many, like rough estimate, how many events like came up that you wanted to help with to serve the community, but you just like couldn't?
Too many. Like I can go through the email and like it's just like every quarter, it's just because what we did, we've got the $90,000 budget that we got this year, we split it up like 30,000 each quarter to allocate for each quarter. So it was already at the beginning of the quarter that we're like, we've allocated a separate amount of money towards funding specifically. And once that money was out, we just had to tell people, okay, like we can't help you out for this quarter, but reach out next quarter. And it was like by winter quarter, we were already at a point where like, I'm so sorry, like we cannot help you guys anymore. So it's been like, I can't even like, it's like more than I can count. I think it's like, it's a lot of events. There's so many Black cultural orgs who count on us, really all of them rely on us for funding. And yeah, and I feel like it's most of their bigger event, like the Face of African Culture Show. I think that's the biggest event. I don't know if you guys have gotten any requests from them, but it's like around $22,000. OBSC requests a lot as well. That's like $20,000. Like it's a lot, like more than 10 for sure, more than 15.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you for coming. I was wondering, follow up to what we were just talking about, around like, so you said $30,000 with the budget that you guys have typically been getting each year. How much percent of that, do you typically like allocate towards funding other ones?
So the plan was to allocate 10,000 each quarter for that, but at that point we had, this is my first year being co-chair, so at that point I didn't really know how reliant other Black orgs are on us, so we gave like most of that was actually going to like the first request we got was our whole portion of donations was already given during that first request, like the 10,000 for OBSD. So I mean, our mission is like, we don't want to tell them no, like our mission, we're supposed to be here to help them out. And us being the only Black PCUs who have the means to help them out because they can't always rely on the finance committee to give them the money. We wanted to just give them that money. And that's why I mentioned earlier that we had to sacrifice our own events and not host those like recent rhythms. It's supposed to be, I normally was supposed to do it quarterly just because it's honestly one of our biggest events since I hosted it last year, but I'm only just now doing it this quarter because I could not, like, we didn't have enough money. I had to give that to other organizations. So it was supposed to be 10,000 a quarter, but it was definitely more than that. But yeah, it was definitely. If you want the specific numbers, it's in the budget sheet, I believe, and I don't know who I'm sending. Oh, you sent to the internal. Yeah, I can send that to the questionnaire and budget sheet. I can send that over, and you guys can see it. I can't give you the exact numbers.
I think last one, John.
Just really quick, would you be willing to direct, the words, like in the future, because some of the words sounds really familiar, I think we support, partial of their effort of their activities. Would you be willing to like direct, if there's, any funding in the situation going on, maybe you guys can also support that to find something so that we can validate from our part? I can definitely, if they're open to that, I can do that, but I know based on what like their personal experiences, they rather be getting that money from us because it's more so of a guarantee than just waiting weeks for finance committees to tell them, okay, we can do this and we can't do it. Even with the culture show right now, I'm not really sure where that is, but they're kind of struggling with that as well. So I don't think that's their preference. I think they rather like rely on, like have a specific like group where they can like go to and be for sure, like, okay, I'm gonna get that money, but so. I can, but I can't tell you, I can't speak on behalf of them and tell you that that's what it is. I don't know.
Thank you so much.
I saw that in the agenda, there's like a bill. For us, is that like coming up soon?
Is that a resolution?
Yeah, like,
The HIPAA or something like that, yeah.
yeah, I also have no idea what that is, so.
It seems legitimate that one of the authors could briefly explain what that is.
Okay, so.
Yeah, I did communicate with a member of the organization about it, and I went to a meeting, so I'm sorry that this wasn't fully explained. But basically, it's just basically supporting fully funding you guys,
Okay,
and we were planning to send it to our advocacy committee.
okay. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you guys for having us.
Fine. Any other boards and commission reports? Never.
Can I speak about the BW? I have some follow-up questions regarding what I mentioned.
Pardon,
Um,
are you part of the BC?
No, I'm not, but it's, you know,
like us to-
follow up from what I said, and it's kind of relevant. So
You'd like us
I mean, it doesn't matter. So first of all,
Excuse me, would like us to move back into public forum?
can I have 3 minutes? I want to make a comment on the websites you guys share.
Yeah, so we would have to move back into public forum. If senators would like to do that. No, so. Okay. Do you have any consent to move to section B public forum?
Um,
The speaking agreement says one.
It says
person
explicitly you
speak one
can,
time.
you're completely
That's
right.
the rules.
Yeah. That's completely right.
Next.
Yeah, it would have to be someone else, I'm sorry. Yeah, would you?
The website you shared did not work. Was there an issue with the links? So
I can, or someone can. please.
you can.
Sure. Okay, someone can address that personally. Lily, would you like to speak in public forum?
Yes.
You were invited to speak.
I was invited, yes.
Would you like to?
Is there anything on your list?
No. All right, I personally don't have anything on. Oh, okay.
Okay,
Okay.
Okay. Do we have any consent to move to section? B2 boards and commission reports? Senators, if we can please. Are there any other boards or commissions here for reports? Okay, any unit reports? President's cabinet reports? Executive director's report? Feel free, Sean.
I'll be quick. Good to hear that everyone will be taking into account the two budgets that came before, so I really advise doing that to save everyone some time. A lot of hours have been spent in both finance committee and in the president's office to come to some numbers, and so I just need to relitigate a lot of that. And that I'm also glad that notes are going to emerge based on the reasoning for each section. I hope that'll be the standard moving forward. The student government liaison search is live. The committee is forming during a couple of students here who have volunteered to be part of that, so thank you for that. And then I'll just end with elections because that's where my brain is at. They're still behind. As you might have noticed by the email, the messages we've been no doubt getting. As of an hour ago, as of 7 o'clock, so most updated numbers. As of 7 o'clock, we're at for undergrads 17.39%. A little bit higher now. We're at they're a little below us at 16.5. But we need to be
Senators, please.
we need to be much higher if we're going to finish any time in our current academic year. So that's a joke. It'll finish, but we need more per day. And so getting out the vote, asking as people you don't have to answer every question. I know it's long, there's a bunch of constitutional amendments. There's a lot of fees and reaffirmations and things that are up on there. But it really doesn't take that long to do it, even if you're clicking through to see some of it. So, yeah, that was my short and sweet version.
Thank you, Sean. Any questions on the same tone, Brody? Rona?
Hey, Sean, good to see you here in this hot ass room. How many people have been voting in the past couple of days, like on a daily basis?
Right, so I do have that on the check for undergrad. But we do have a day by day thing, which is you could piece together if people were like subtracting based on the things I made, but I'll just take you the trouble. Our biggest day by far was last Thursday. But the last couple days, see, we're on Wednesday now. On Monday, only 144 people. Tuesday, only 96 people. So not great to see my frustration. So far today, 247. Oh, so it's picking up, but we need more than that. We're still, I can look at the math. We are roughly, by about now, we're roughly about 500 votes away. So if can be a big push tonight, people, like I sent out a reminder at 5 o'clock that half the people haven't opened yet, but like if that was to 16,884 people, if small percentage of them vote, we can get closer and be done with this. Because I know all the people that are running would like answers as well. All the departments that have fees would like answers to all of that. And I would like to be doing something besides that. So, yeah, day to day, today is much better.
How does it stop? Thanks for the report. Does it stop exactly at 20%, or is it like when the election board sees that it's 20%, they're gonna like stop it sometime after that?
Sometime after. So like elections board will have like, as we get closer, it's what it was last year. We're like, okay, we were gonna hit it on Thursday, the second Thursday. At some point, we're like, okay, we're gonna hit it, let's say 4 o'clock, and then I think we hit 20% at 3, 10%. And so it's like, okay, it kept trickling up because people wanted to get in and fire. And yeah, for a thing where we used to hit like above 30, above 40, like we've had 45% at one third times. No, not since the pandemic we haven't, but yeah. So it won't just stop automatic, because also the CEC has a whole sliding scale for their calculations and things too. So like it's beneficial for them if like we have higher turn. It's beneficial for everyone if we have higher turnout, but especially for them.
So. Okay, you got any advisors reports? Executive officers reports. Last Friday we had IU Underground, it was great. Executive office members reports. Administrative reports or senator reports.
Okay, I'll be quick. My thing's there. I already actually got some pretty good consensus answers on my standing committee meeting on Tuesday. I just want to keep on your guys' radar. Do you guys want to help with this? Maybe if you guys have more knowledge than I do, some other BCUs and stuff like that, or maybe other committees and stuff. I might also just go to the finance committee as well later. But last week, if you guys don't know, the Nigerian Student Association recently had, I could be wrong in particular, but they had one of their particular conferences, and it wasn't just Nigerian Student Association. A lot of other members of the Black community were involved in this conference, including from other groups like BSU, EASA, and BWHC, all groups just as members in general went to this conference. But in this particular conference, there was a bit of a robbery that happened, and all their items, including laptops, computers, equitable items, things they need for midterms and studying, have been stolen, destroyed. Their van got destroyed. A lot of things happened, just entirely disruptured from this trip, and it's really unfortunate. The community has been doing donations about this right now, which is really amazing to see that, and their community works together in this. But I was requested by my office hours just that they made this particular budgeting report in this proposal, and just to give some details about it, and if you guys just, I'll look into this myself, as seeing resources for my own particular thing, but if you guys want to help with this and help support them. As you guys have mentioned about this before, you guys, like what happened last week in particular, and if you guys want to continue your advocacy to support the Black community, if you have any insight or want to help in this, just redirect this to the right resources. I might just be, I already kind of have a good understanding about it after getting support. I might reach out to the executive director, but if you guys want to help with this, it's open, and I think it would be a really good cause if Senate body was, particularly support and funding the repercussions that happen in this event. So I just wanted to bring that out there and what happened to this, and it would, I think, really mean a lot to them. So, there, so I just wanted to touch over.
Just one question, are you aware of which org funded the conference, or did it self-fund the conference?
I was off on, I already went to ask anything previously for this event, I'm not sure, but I'm not sure. I heard it was BWC already, I think, from the last, this particular conference, or something, I think that's what it is too.
Guys, I can't hear a thing, presumably no one else can, it's supposed to be a.
Oh, sorry, quick question, are you aware that if they self-funded that conference when they went, or is there an entity within AS already funded that?
Yes, I believe they self-funded that conference.
Thank you.
Wait, are you asking for AS to hit this money back, or you're just bringing awareness for if you want to do personal donations?
Oh, I'm, no, not personal donations. I'm bringing this to awareness to the Senate that if they're involved and maybe, or they are knowledgeable, of maybe any BCUs or want to help me in this particular thing, maybe going to BCU or requesting it, or they're, knowledgeable of redirecting sources and want to give advice to help fund this. I'm just leaving it open there. If you guys can bring some, particular advice to help support this emergency cause. I just wanted to bring it to the Senate's radar after what happened last week, just to help a lot.
Oh, no.
Hey, Iman, can you, sorry, this isn't necessarily related to this. Can you just clarify, because I know you went to add something to the agenda for RISIS. Is that like time restricted? Okay, cool. I just want to start that.
5 seconds in and out.
Yeah, it's the.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, any other thoughts on this? Any other Senate reports? Brilliant. Let's move into new business, please. There's a resolution. Again, same kind of. Right, authors.
All right, so, thank you, everyone. The people that this resolution is about, they showed up today and probably spoke better on it than I ever could. But again, just to reiterate some main points, they are the only Black BCU and they fund a lot of organizations on our, just a massive pillar of support for an underrepresented community. And so for now, our intentions are just to send it to our advocacy committee so that it can be approved upon. And we would also like to request that this not be spoken about in closed session.
Sorry, wait, is that binding?
No, it's not binding. It's not inside the resolution.
The Inquisition, okay, yeah. Because we've been. Yeah, it's not in the therefore clauses, so it's not a real thing. This is something Sean has reminded of us of, helpfully, I think the last year, that if you want something actionable, it has to be in the therefore clause. Sorry, just important. Shuriken?
Yeah, so. Sorry. A little space out. But yeah, so basically I talked to Michael and I talked to Senate leadership, and there are some concerns with this resolution, and instead of like trying to go against the grain, I want to make sure we're working with everyone to try and get this effort move along and that we don't have any roadblocks. So that's why we're gonna immediately table it, or I request that we table it to move it to advocacy committee so that we can work on it, make any amendments that need to be made. I also invited the folks from the VCU to come and help work with us. So it's going to be very cohesive. I know there might be some contention with the language, and we're more than open to working on that. So this is not this is not the end all be all resolution. This is just an bare bones, and we're going to work on it in advocacy committee.
Just one assessment.
Thank you, Chair. God, as someone who's sympathetic to raising the funding for EWHC around what finance committee recommended, this resolution, despite that, feels to me incredibly supportive. Because what's the point of this? So we're gonna move it to advocacy. Advocacy is gonna move it out of committee next Monday at the latest. But we're adopting the budget tonight. Like, this just feels like grandstanding to me. I don't get the point of this.
Alec, I get you, but you can imagine the shitty position I'm in trying to distinguish when something is ad hominem or speaks to a senator's intentions. I think grandstanding performative low-key is on the other end of that line. So maybe we could, it's not the other world, maybe we could keep the world going. Bless you. I'm like, can we please open that door, bro? I think our
Yeah.
I'd say drop like 25%, just by the temperature. It was, honestly, I'd welcome music. I think it'd be loud. Okay, guys. Okay, let's keep some semblance of. Dustman administrator.
Motion to refer the resolution to fully fund BWHC to advocacy committee.
There's been a motion to refer this resolution to the advocacy committee. Is there a second? Wait, well,
Second.
second round discussion. Lee? Yeah. Sorry.
I just wanted to like reply to what you're saying. So first off, there was absolutely a reason for this. So I heard conflicting opinions on whether we could actually talk about the budget in an open session as opposed to a closed session. By having this resolution, it would allow us to talk not in a closed session if we had to like talking about supporting the Black community open in an open way versus in a closed discussion. And second of all, the point, yes, since it's a resolution, we could push it out today, and that's something that we thought about before. The only reason that we're not pushing it out is because we recognize that our language is problematic and we're trying to improve it. And call the question.
No, yes, very nice. That was, later on.
Can I ask, which members of BWHC you talked to, for this resolution? Because, well, the chair earlier said that she wasn't aware of this, so I was just wondering, like, who we talked to.
Okay, so I talked to, for example, I think it was the marketing, person and also, I think so, and also like, also communicated to them through Instagram, oh, sorry. And I also showed up to their meeting, this Monday.
What's the discussion? Sure.
Call a
Question. Question has been called. Did you call the question?
Consent.
Consent. Motion passes.
Chair, I'd like to amend something onto the agenda. I think it'll be quick, just a few minutes. Like, everyone has seen it already. It has been communicated out. I'll take a motion. One second. Okay. Motion to amend onto the agenda and add a bill to update AS Reis de Mentiera's legal code under new business.
Okay, there's been a motion to amend the agenda, add a bill to update AS Reis de Mentiera's legal code. Is there a second? Oh, no, second. And a section now in discussion. Question, call for the question. Consent. Consent. Motion passes. Authors feel free.
Okay, you guys already heard from the public report and the officer report, and already think the statement has been, from the past year, has been already unanimously made by the Senate body of what we think that Reis de Mentera's particular PCO, what they could accomplish, or she could expand, I think, everybody to statement. And over the last 48 hours, I've received a lot of, revelations about the particular circumstances of Reis de Mentera. And already, as you guys saw in the public forum, that there has been, I'll speak more about this in the closed session, but as it has been communicated about that the past year, due to miscommunications and I think just poor leadership, I'll just speak from there, that the public of the Reis de Mentera general body has been wanting to, at least they've recently communicated to me, for so long, they've been actually wanting to speak up for documented students and speak up against ICE and do particular things with their funding and expand themselves. It was simply due to poor particular circumstances they were unable to do so, and that's why it's been recently brought to now in comparison to earlier. And I'll explain about it later, but I think it's well said that we want to help expand the legal code. And I think this will not only be a really good circumstance to them, because we've had a lot of pilot programs happening this year for undocumented students. This is a really good opportunity to, I think, make them long term. So That's all I want to say. If there's any mistakes, we can fix in committee, just make a motion to fix that, and I'll think about the rest in closed session particular too. I just think it's so sensitive.
Senator Enough?
You wanted to, us? Okay, cool.
Unless there's any discussion, welcome to sessions. Senator John?
I absolutely commend the effort and I motion to refer the bill to update is resistant. Legal, I'm sorry, I don't. Legal code to advocacy. Okay.
There's been a motion to refer Belton and the value system mission statement to advocacy committee. Is there a second, Senator Oro?
Second.
There's been a motion, the motion has been moved and seconded. We're now in discussion. Senator Lee? Question's been called. Is there any objections to the call to question?
Same.
Is there any objections to consent? Seeing none, motion passes. It's now the advocacy committee. Okay, we'll now move into item H, action items. The first item is the 26-27 ASU/CSB budget. The presidential final recommendation. If you guys would like to move into the other action items first, then we can get into the budget after. Is that
That's fine.
consensus? Okay. We'll move into a bill to establish policy 39, discharge from the liaison committee with amendments by Senators Manitoba and Fan. Senator Manitoba, you got before.
I don't wanna speak for that long, but mostly I just kind of changed it to a feedback form. And I got, liaison committee to kind of work this out a little bit with them on how they want to do the process. That's pretty much all the changes I made since this is last on the time.
Senator Regula.
Yeah, and just for a second clarification about this, like, we also wanted to put this in our standing committee just in case we wanted holistic feedback, I think from also staff and other internal operations, and like, we've done the best we could to open about this to everyone to get full communication about this, and that's what resulted with this additional amendments I have with this. It can make it, I think, as like, holistically supporting and not really seen as in targeting language. And the help, and that also because it's gonna be in liaison committee, that will work functioning with our legal code as well, which we consequently have to work on this as well. So we looked at this, and we have to do the best outreach for it too, so it's supported by our committee as well.
And Senator Regula. Are there any motions or discussion on the bill? Senator Regula.
Motion to adopt a bill to establish standing policy 39, a quarterly career staff feedback form, and student consumer amendments.
It's been a motion to adopt a bill to establish policy 39 with amendments. Is there a second? Senator Arnold.
Second.
The motion has been moved and seconded. We now go into a leave vote. This is motion 1.
So there's no people.
There's no leave vote.
Oh. Dude.
2 minutes, please.
Oh, yeah, it's in our email. It's email from Sarah.
Oh, that's just leave it valid.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It's just out of the.
Let's repeal it. Let's repeal
Me.
Yeah, because I don't want to share this. No.
Just add the number.
So now you got it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is.
Okay, motion 1, please, everyone.
Okay, voting that.
Oh.
What is happening?
We're on motion 1. Senators, please vote.
Okay.
We're on motion 1.
Making the adjustment, is your thing gonna be abstaining out of that?
Have they considered maybe it is time to open the AC and we just shout a little bit, because it's same kind of noise anyway.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's too.
Yeah, Senator Hepburn, or senators, please.
Yeah.
Senator Hepburn is absent.
There is.
Sorry?
Outside.
Okay, the vote reads 11-0-0.
0-0-1.
That's incorrect. I'm not an abstention. I can't vote. 11-0-0, motion passes.
Next.
Respect. I yield chairship back to IVP Walla.
Appreciate. Want to do what I was.
Sorry?
Yeah. Whose is this? And medical assessment upgrade.
Oh.
Yeah, we
You
heard,
got precedence if you want to start.
Oh, no, I'm good, thank you.
we heard concerns about this in public forum. I don't need to make it much more expansive than that. Essentially, we're just following UCOP policies. This will allow our association to actually put money where students' mouths are. But because a lot of BCUs have abused the food policies, which is lack thereof. You'll see tonight in budget deliberations, there's BC which spent 73% of its budget on food, going back to itself. One which spent 53% of its budget going back to food, again on itself. Our association should be spending money towards the student body, not there for itself. And all it's doing is updating itself to UCOP policies. It's not putting the Senate nor any other entity above one another. It's simply listening and following to the procedures which UCOP has established for itself. I yield.
Go.
Oh, I guess, Evan, I don't know if you are interested in editing the bill to include like a line for Senate to also not get food. Because I mean, I think the comment did make sense, and obviously it was never our intention to be like excluding BCUs. So I don't know if you want to pass it tonight. Go back and look at it again.
I'm happy to amend it and put it back into committee.
Part 2 minutes or what?
I'm happy to amend it and put it back into committee.
Wait, the goal being what?
Well, good.
All it for some?
Yeah, just make a clause that Senate also doesn't get food, I guess.
So people sit here for 5 hours without, that's a serious problem. Yeah.
No, I interpreted that as unless there was a Senate meeting that's less than 3 hours, then they don't get food. But again, that's holding every organization accountable. Yeah, that's in the policies of UCOP. So that any entity within UCOP that holds meetings over 3 hours gets food.
Oh, no. Sean's name is misspelled. I don't know if we're gonna get down that hill. Yeah.
AW.
Lieberman. Yeah.
Sorry.
Also, he's not the interim anymore.
Guys.
Okay, but yeah, do you want it to go back to committee?
Let's put it back to advocacy committee. I still think that
Okay.
this, again, not to mitigate what Yo-Yo said earlier. Senate and any entity which holds meetings over 3 hours, whether it's City Association, Senate, CAB, Finance Committee, if they're over 3 hours, they are applicable for food. That's just UCOP policy. I still think we should retain that and fix the grammatical errors and fix the interim error now that you are officially head chief.
Yeah, not commenting on whichever way you want to go on this, but you have the ability to explicitly list out that you do not mean that Senate isn't abusive. So make that very clear that there's not that distinction without getting rid of food for people who meet 5, like, can we stop with the nonsense of there's a very clear distinction between meeting that's 5 hours and 1 hour and having theater that we don't know what that distinction is? Sorry, wait, well.
So I was gonna say, okay, regards to the grammatical errors, I don't know if you guys saw our amendment page, the committee amendment page. I am sorry though, God, that the thing was exactly, but I did that. We did add the motion to 6A, so there was emergency circumstances, the motion to update up to 76 standard for like format and also grammatical errors. So if you have to change it to a committee for grammatical errors, you wouldn't need to do that. And also, by the way, if we have to, and if we have to refer to committee for explicit matters like the chair just talked about, it wouldn't make a difference anyway, because we're regulating it to the correct policy. So why, what, I don't understand, like, we're not making anything different or beneficial to anybody else. It's still following the policy of UCOP. So I don't know. We also open it up to, we also open up to all internal affairs committees to bring comment to this and nobody else aside to, so I don't know, make a difference to prefer it.
John?
Quick comment, I think that the best way of doing this, while recognizing the comments that people come to public forum, is basically have a non-binding clause says, Senator, we're like, well, first of all, count ourselves, fine as we have longer meetings, but we don't have food. And on the second note, just have clauses, we're out of good faith that if it's unnecessary, we will do it. Just say that you have this commitment and it doesn't have to be binding, just show good faith. That's what I would recommend, because we do have to patch up with BC religion and we're obviously not doing a great job at the end. So that would just be my recommendation.
Okay, if that's the intuition that carries, you can absolutely do that on committee, Sussman.
Motion to table a bill to update, or not table, motion to refer a bill to update Senate policy 22 to advocacy committee.
Just think this legislation, there's been a motion to move for this legislation, the advocacy committee is their second, John. There's a pronunciation, Mike Cole.
Oh, I have a
The question, call for the question?
Yeah.
Any objection like consent? Seeing none, motion passes. John,
Motion to add $1,000 to the book bank's budget to fulfill the textbook grant program's request.
motion $9,000 to the book bank's budget to fill textbook grant programs request their second Sussman.
Second.
The second down discussion, John. Question, Culture Coalition.
Consent.
Any objection like consent? Motion passes.
Is it all people?
No, go on the thing, please.
Motion to. Center whether burn in the building. Oh no.
What are we at? Is that absent? Is that all?
Yes.
Okay, 11:00, motion passed. Okay, can we get rid of the small, what's up?
I have a motion.
Go ahead.
Okay. Motion to allocate all remaining funds within the total account to the finance committee's fund spring quarter due to the lack of operation of the board.
You've said that.
Yes, I said this.
I got it. Give me 1 second, please.
And I can provide more context after we discuss it. Second.
On there. Oh, sorry, it's under excused absences. There it is.
The motion allocate all remaining funds within the COVO account to the finance committee on spring board, lack of operation of the board. There's a second, Jones. No discussion. Joe.
Full context, so you guys might be glad to know that finance committee have, because of our efficiency of allocating funds to all student campus boards, they have spent down from 500,000 at the beginning of week 1 till now. I think we only have 41 remaining in our main account. And second note is that, if you guys are aware of the startup fund of $250 we gave to all the new campus organizations, we have spent down that to 0 and have more words applying for that fund. So that means we're at least funding more than like 60 more new campus organizations for this whole year. And that was the first time that has ever occurred, I think, in history of finance committee. Because of our outreach and I think publicity wise, what have done a decent job. And so we're requesting more funding from the other account that's inactive to the main account of finance committee so that we can supply more events upcoming for the next 4 meetings.
Consolidation.
Consolidation.
It's allowed in the legal.
Sorry?
It's in the legal code, we should do that.
True, Councilman?
Congratulations, call the question.
Questions, do we have a question? Any objection, I consent? Not being expended yet. Do we have that? Will anyone tell Natalia? Okay, much passes. Okay, whatever, you know what, no, I'm tripping, yeah. Yeah, we have to do it even when it's with range, if you just do it, leave out. You have 20 seconds and I'm meeting. 19. 15. 2. 5. 3.
It's number 3.
3. Would you do please? Come on. Look at that. Well, sorry, 13.
It's because, Shepherd is-
Not here. Yes, but there's one more. Shepherd is marked absent. There's one more person. Guys, do something. There's one more marked person. No, 13. Motion passes. Okay. That's what, Jenny. Is it all for this? Okay, let's get rid of the other little things. So we can focus on the lovely task at hand. Let's go into committee reports, finance.
Oh, done. The context was the report. Oh, also the fair was a success. We had 150 people sign up totally for like the ones who go through all procedures and a bunch of people come up for bank and everything. So it was good.
The fair wasn't needed to discuss questions. Lovely. Outreach.
Yes, thank you guys very much. Every single day we have been tabling for literally 11 until 3, actually 11 until 4, every single day. Thanks to Sean's update. We're aware that essentially that hasn't been enough. So tomorrow we're gonna lead a door knocking effort. So the entire outreach committee is going to meet tomorrow. Yeah, the entire outreach committee is going to meet tomorrow. And our goal is to get that 500 votes remaining done. And so I implore you to join us if you'd like. I will update everyone later on in the meeting with the specific time and the location that we're going to meet. But yes, that's actually it. And then we have a 3v3 basketball tournament happening on May 15th as well. I encourage you guys to come to that. We're planning on having quite a few VCs there and quite a few students there. And we're gonna obviously be using the opportunity, the captive audience, if you will, to publicize AS as much as we possibly can. So main things are huge door knocking effort tomorrow, May 15th basketball tournament, captive audience. And the rest we can talk about privately.
I want to thank the outreach committee and Senator Harder personally, as well as Queen from BWHC, along with a few others. I believe Reese from the outreach committee for being present at the Ivy Underground, which everyone was invited to, but you took the time to be there. I really appreciate it. I don't know how I felt about if you vote to get $100 little sign you guys have.
Yeah.
That was a little straight out of Moscow behavior, but the presence and how you're engaging with students was exceptional. So kudos. Questions?
No.
Liaison.
Yeah, other than two, our event actually was a pretty good success last week as well, and I'm really, really happy about it because, like, as you guys have said, we've had a lot of events that felt a little bit more just very strict and professional, but this was a really good opportunity of their first mixer because we replaced our procurement efforts, started doing monthly mixers, and it went really, really well. We had around for my particular reports. I wish my service in this, I had the data here. I'll send it to Slack so you guys can all see. We had at least around 30 to 40 people coming from BCU representatives from 40 BCUs come to this mixer that we had in Internal Affairs. And they gave positive reviews, they really liked the event, and they really appreciate the fact that the Senate body made something like this, and they come and ask their questions in a not hostile space. They're able to get Chick-fil-A, their jewelry making, it went really, really well, and I'm really just grateful for my team that kind of facilitated this event. And our steering leaders worked really, really hard on this, and I think it was just great to see this actually go really well. In the future, I hope future leadership committee members can keep this going, so that we can expand more events, more mixers, that all people can come, so you don't feel hostile about this thing. And legal code changes happen a lot these days. I'm really happy you got to bring out that nice legal code that happened in the last week. And there was a lot of things that happened, but still I'm really happy this came to fruition. A lot of legal code changes. We're going to be doing mid-quarter check-ins to VCU still, even after budget deliberations. But I'm really happy to see the mixer and just really happy to see that out. Yeah.
Other questions? Obviously.
I got paid. Let's go. I got that check. It's a solid like $1,300. I'll probably just do that again because I don't want to do a gateway cart in like my last month and a half at this school. So get ready for that FinOps. Besides that, appreciate y'all. Besides that, Mobile Food Pantry Friday, shout out Neo. What else? One of our wonderful staffers, Marcello, is going to be he's organizing a blood drive tentatively set for, I believe, exactly a month from now, May 29, if I remember correctly. Details on that coming later. Literally forgetting. Yeah, just fill me in.
I have one more thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I placed the order for like $2,000 something worth of food for the mobile food pantry, like 2.5 weeks ago. We have not received the shipment yet. We are really hoping that it comes tomorrow or Friday. So just slight
Tentative.
caveat, Friday may not happen.
Yeah.
On Friday.
Stay ambitious.
It may happen just a little bit after, but that's simply because we haven't received the material per se, even though we placed the order like quite a while ago.
Keep your eyes and ears out.
Just to be clear.
Oh yeah, since I'm gonna be dropping like another band on tabling, we'll probably table like next week. Because it's midterms, hand out the remaining blue books we have, Celsius, all that good stuff. So show up for that. Yeah, that's all I got. Cool. Erica, you want to? Sweet.
To be clear, by I got paid, he means reimbursed.
Yes, reimbursed for reimbursed.
Didn't just drop out of the sky.
Yeah.
He paid for the user.
I was reimbursed for like $1,300 of tabling supplies that I bought. So yes.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you to FinOps for making everything possible, by the way.
Yes.
Including John.
Successful use of microwave. So
Okay, anything else? How about we treat ourselves with an extra minute of recess?
Yes.
And come back at.
Sorry.
Yeah.